Yo, people, it's your boy. Welcome back to the channel. I'm back to give you guys my take and my view on the latest and greatest news. And of course, from the title, you guys will know I'm talking about none other than your boy Declan Rice. 120 million. 120 million people. What do we think? I mean, look, Premier League clubs are they're really starting to take the mick, ain't they? Listen, I think for Declan Rice, and I'm going to go into the reasons, of course, I think for Declan Rice, he's worth every penny. Let's just get that out of the way first and foremost. But clearly, it looks like West Ham are going to make it difficult for whoever goes and tries to secure Declan Rice's signature. Listen, before we go any further, people, please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share the video. Press the bell notifications, all of that good stuff. 120 million reasons we need Declan Rice. Listen, Declan Rice, yeah. I've made a few videos about him. I've made more or less about 3, 4 videos discussing links, rumors, the love he has for Arsenal, the love Arteta has for him, and everything in between that. And I think now it's more or less a case of, look, it's just a no-brainer. This signing looks like it's such a no-brainer that I honestly can't see it not happening. Now, if I look at history and if I look at what history will teach me, um, I would say that it probably isn't going to happen. However, because of the confirmation, because there is actual factual confirmation of the admiration that Declan Rice has for Mikel and vice versa, I think it could. I think it could happen. Declan Rice is one of those players that Mikel looks like he's kind of influenced, and he would know how to more or less not control him, but just manage him. Manage him. He's at the ripe age to be able to be sort of still called a young player, but also a experienced enough player. Listen, I love Declan Rice, bruv. Yeah, I love the way that young man plays football, bro. And the way how he's developed from, let's say, 3 years ago till today, and the way how he's playing his football now is incredible. He has grown in stature, he has grown in leadership attributes, he's just developed in every sector, in every department, in every way, shape, and form. And I can give you, as the title says here, I can give you 120 million reasons why Arsenal need someone like Declan Rice. We don't even need someone like Declan Rice. We need Declan Rice. I love the fact that when we buy English players and they bang, it's a beautiful thing, because I always feel pride when we were able to uh, see a decent amount of players that play for Arsenal go over to international duty for England. I remember when we used to have Chamberlain, Wilshere, Gibbs. There was Walcott. There was a little core of them, and I understand that that core obviously failed, and we know what happened with the famous picture of all of them sort of sitting down together, signing new contracts. But it's just like when you deep it and when you check it, now we only have two. We're back to two, which is Aaron Ramsdale and Bukayo Saka. And Aaron Ramsdale, he doesn't even play. So it's just literally Bukayo Saka. Of course, we had people like Benny Blanco um join the group, join the England setup, but then through personal reasons he had to leave. So he technically didn't play as well. Like, I want to see, hopefully, fingers crossed, next season, I want to see Ramsdale, I want to see Smith Rowe, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice, all getting on a bus or on a black cab or wherever they do together to head over to international duties, all obviously to head over to represent England, all of course representing their club, which should be Arsenal. Listen, man, if only Declan Rice played against Man City in that West Ham game last week. How was he? Like, what happened? Why was he not playing? I know he was ill, but bro, oh my goodness, when it rains, it pours, and you just want a little bit more lucky. I'm telling you, like, he would have left his body and soul on the ground in that game because he knows he's coming to Arsenal, bro. If you guys haven't seen, listen, and it's not about a lot of the times things that you physically see players do. Okay, sometimes you have to look at it from a business aspect. So when I say it's not about things that you see players do, for example, he went and signed Odegaard's shirt or got Odegaard to sign his shirt, and then Odegaard gave him a shirt. We know that Declan Rice collects shirt. He likes to collect shirts, signed shirts of players he plays against, of position players he plays against, and of course in the same team. So that you shouldn't focus too much on things like that. When you see little things like that, it's not. I don't think it's tangible enough for you to say, "Oh, it's because like that doesn't mean nothing." But what I do think is tangible, and what I do think Arsenal fans can rely on in terms of this story here and information we're getting is that it literally looks like Arsenal's more or less the all box ticking situation for him. We're ticking all the boxes. So we're a London club, we're in a Champions League. Chelsea are not in the Champions League. Declan Rice was always meant to somehow end up at Chelsea again, but for whatever reason, it's just not working for Chelsea at the moment. They're obviously going to miss out on the Champions League, and that's big for Dex because Dex is now what? He's 24 years of age, and he's played in the Europa League, he's played in the Conference League. I think he's played in the Conference League as well. It's time. It's time. And let me tell you lot, another thing as well. One of the big reasons I believe we most certainly need Declan Rice is just his leadership and his work ethic that leave my body, leave my soul on the pitch kind of approach and attitude that you see this guy having every single game over the last, I would say in the last 2 years. It's incredible, man. Listen, I might be jumping the gun here, but if we actually manage to secure, if Stan Kroenke, Josh Kroenke, the Arsenal board, if they sanction this signing and they back Mikel and they give him up to, we're going to talk about the money a little bit more. We're going to talk about the figures, but if we actually get this signing and we get it done and we get it over the line, I might be saying this a little bit prematurely, but I honestly do believe that Arsenal will put themselves in a position to challenge for the top honors for the next 3 to 4 years, bro. And that's on that you know, it's not he's not the only missing piece. We most certainly need a dominant, tall, robust, gigantic figure of a striker in the form of, or in the likes of, for example, Vlahovic or Tony. We need a striker like that. We need a tall target man centre forward that can header, that's got power in his shots and can goal poach at the same time. Tony for me is perfect, but I'll make a few videos on Ivan Tony as we get closer to the summer and the summer window opening, because I think the moment we put one bid in for Ivan Tony, he will come. He will come to Arsenal. But the question is, does Arsenal want him? Does Arsenal see Ivan Tony as a realistic option or a realistic choice to head to Arsenal? But yeah, people, listen, man. Declan Rice's leadership attributes and his leadership, um, just overall his personality. I know you guys have seen the videos on Twitter trending where he's speaking to a young supporter, a young man who he found on the sideline, and he was crying. I think there was some sort of situation about him not being given a shirt, or he wanted a shirt. Declan Rice, selfless. We know that. We know he's a kind, selfless human being. We know he's a good young man. He keeps himself, uh, well tidied, well cleaned. He's one of those people where you won't see him most probably, getting all crazy in weekends and whenever West Ham is not playing. Like, he's solid. West Ham is solid. He's a West Ham. Declan Rice is solid. He's a captain of West Ham, and that kind of ties into the money aspect of it and why I believe West Ham have kind of slapped this 120 million price tag on him. Um, Look, he's got uh what is it? He's how what's he when does his contract actually run out? Let's have a look. I'm just gonna share this tab with you lot. And we're gonna start going more into the situation at hand in itself. Let me just have a look. Okay, so here we are. So hope you guys can see that. So this is just one of the sort of outlets, essentially talking about the situation, the Declan Rice situation. So Arsenal and Chelsea learn extreme Declan Rice transfer demand amid David Moyes update. Declan Rice is one of the most coveted midfielders in the world ahead of the summer transfer window, with Arsenal and Chelsea set to be in a race for the signature. Okay, David Moyes has warned the likes of Arsenal and Chelsea that Declan Rice will be extremely expensive acquisition this summer. The 24-year-old midfielder has been heavily linked with an exit from West Ham for a while now as he continues to impress the club and country. Despite the arrival of Jorginho, um, the Gunners will still hold a strong interest in Declan Rice, of course. It's also understood that the Hammers captain remains a key target for Chelsea, where he spent his formative years alongside Mason Mount in the academy until he was eventually released at the age of 14. Those days are done. Yeah. All of that emotional, oh, I played with Mason Mount in Chelsea Academy. That's done now. Okay. We moved forward. We're we're dealing with big situational things. You can't get emotional and think, oh, fairy tale. Let me reignite that Chelsea fairy tale and let's go back over there. Mason Mount's on his way out of Chelsea, so you're not even going to link up with your boy. Okay, if anything, Mason Mount could be linked to us and could be coming with us. Imagine that. Imagine we get Ivan Tony, Mason Mount, Declan Rice, um, probably potentially miss out on Caicedo. I don't think Caicedo will make it to Arsenal. I honestly, I just can't see it. Brighton are gonna let go of McAllister. They're probably gonna try their utmost to keep hold of Caicedo for another. He's just gonna be the guy that they keep hold. I think they rate him one of like probably the best or most important player um at Brighton, and I just don't think that they're gonna let him go. So we could kind of get that out of our heads unless something obviously develops and I'm not aware of. Um, but yeah, until now. So yeah, in terms of his contract, let me just have a look here. So Rice's contract expires in the summer of 2024, and there is an option to extend but a further year. So they his contract is gonna end next year. Okay. Now they've got a option to extend it for a further year. So Declan Rice, if West Ham wanted to, they can hold him for another 2 years. Now that's extremely unlikely that that's going to happen. They'll be willing to sell, but they're going to try to sell at the highest price, and the price at the moment being quoted is 120 million. Okay, listen, people, make no mistake. We know why West Ham is quoting this price. They don't want to lose him. He is their main protagonist, their main key player. I wouldn't say in terms of goals, but just everything else. Like he's the representative. He's the hammer representative. He's the people's hammer. He's the people's player. He's been there from a young age. He's been there for a few years now. Sorry, and they they need to replace him. That's number one. And we've seen West Ham being linked to people like Guendouzi, being linked to all sorts of players. And I think if I'm not wrong, I think West Ham will be willing to take probably about up to 100 million and potentially a player as well. So if it's cash outright, it will be 120 m's, but then we can look at alternatives such as 100, throwing 100 million on the table, and then potentially another player. Bro, whatever the weather, whatever happens, Stan, you need to make this happen. Mikel, you need to put everything in place in order to make this happen. There is no way I see us starting next season without Declan Rice sitting in that midfield. Could you imagine a midfield of Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, and Thomas Partey? Mix that up even with Jorginho in there. Take out Thomas Partey, put Jorginho in there. Like it's a mad thing, bro. He has the right, like I said, physical attributes. He has the right mental attributes. He's got the right physique to really control a midfield, really dominate a midfield. You don't need to deep these West Ham games. Declan Rice is playing out of his skin. Arsenal cannot flop this one. All of the pieces are in play. All of the pieces are in place now. We're going to finish second after the disappointment of bottling the league, but that's okay because it's such a young squad and they've done tremendously well. Not to excuse the bottling, but we have to move forward and we have to understand that there's no point of crying over spilt milk. You move forward and you do better. You try to do better. You criticize where it needs to be criticized. You praise when it needs to be praised. But Arsenal Football Club must not fluff this up. We must go into the summer, first day on the window, knock on West Ham's door and say, yo, start a bid of 70 million, rising all the way up to 120 million, whatever it takes, Arsenal. Because I guarantee you, and listen, maybe guaranteeing is a bit too much, but I promise, well, promising is a bit too much as well. But I tell you what, I say that to say this, people. If we get Declan Rice, the Premier League won't allow it. They won't allow it because they know it's going to be a mazzoline trazoline. But 120 million, yes, it's way too much, but there are so many variables to look at, and you kind of understand why they're putting a price tag of 20 million. They're going to lose their captain. They're going to lose a fantastic football player. They're going to lose a fantastic personality, a fantastic character on and off the pitch. He's an English talent, so that comes with English tax. He is somebody who, you know, West Ham knows that the clubs that will be going in for him, they're clubs that need him. They're clubs that need a central defensive midfielder or a box-to-box midfielder. And this boy is still developing. He's 24 years of age. Declan Rice is 24 years of age, right? Just have a quick look here. I think he is. I think he is 24 years of age. And I'll also share this tab here as well, just so that you guys can see what I'm looking at as well. So yeah, as you can see here, let me just zoom in. Nice and proper. Cool. Yeah, 24 years of age. 14th of January 1999. These are some of his stats for the season. You know, it's an incredible amount of games he's played this season. He's played 51 games this season, 34 in the Premier League. Of course, we had the World Cup as well. Played 5 games in the World Cup, Nations League, 3 games, FA Cup twice, Conference League 3 times, European Championship. Look, listen, in terms of goals, that's not what we're buying him for. But we also know that he's developing surely, slowly. He is starting to find the net a bit more. We saw the goal in Europe that he scored. That was a tremendous goal, tremendous run. Incredible, bro. That guy, I'm telling you, he just, bro, listen, I don't want to hear it. All of the people saying, oh, it's too much money. It's too much money. Bro, is it your money? That's talking too much money. Do people understand what kind of money, yeah, the Cronkies have? Do people understand what kind of peas we're talking here? These men are billionaires, bro. 120 M's ain't scratching the surface. We're doing everything that we're doing in order to be able to be in a position where we buy these 120. Look at Real Madrid mentality. Jude Bellingham, 120 million. Here you go. It's here. Because they know within 6 months to a year, they've already got back that 120 million. They've already got all of the money back and then some. They're in profit. Shirt sales, merchandise, image rights. What? Arsenal buy Declan Rice this summer, early this summer, and I know West Ham are probably going to try to drag it all along. They probably want people coming in with all sorts of bids, and they're gonna want to turn it into a bidding war. Declan Rice doesn't want that. Listen, West Ham, let me tell you lot something. And for any West Ham fans watching my video, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. But listen, don't be bad mind to the guy. You know, he has repped your flag, repped your badge, repped your colors with distinction. Yeah, he's put his body on the line. He's put everything out there for you lot, so that you lot can continue blowing bubbles. And it looks like this season he's going to continue to do the same, because I think West Ham will survive relegation. They I think they've got enough. They definitely got enough, but in terms of output and in terms of the reality, I think they're just about gonna survive and not go down. Let me have a look to see exactly where West Ham find themselves, and I'll share this as well with you guys, just so we have a look together. So as you can see here, they're sitting 15th, 37 points, 3 points away from the dreamland 40-point mark. Chelsea fans will know all about that. Look, listen. I think I kind of know who's gonna go down now, because they just can't get any sort of traction whatsoever. Southampton definitely one of them. I think Nottingham Forest is gonna be another one, and I do believe Leicester City are gonna go down. People, I'm not gonna lie to you lot. I think Leeds will survive it with Big Sam. I think they're gonna pull a Mazzoline, and survive it, and just tilt themselves up to that 17th position last day of the season or some shit like that. I'm telling you lot, man. 3 games to go for these man, and they can do it. They can do it. They can literally jump to 16th place if they get themselves a win. I think Everton will survive and West Ham will survive. So look, you can attribute this survival, you can attribute it to Declan Rice, people. Not solely him, of course, definitely not solely him. West Ham players this season who has impressed me. Suchek has impressed me. Ben Rama, you can't knock it. He scored crucial goals, including that goal, one of the softest goal you ever see. David De Gea conceding incredible error. That is, bro. Manchester United fans are in meltdown, like absolute meltdown. Um, but yeah, I look, it's one of them ones, people, man. I need Arsenal to take this very, very seriously. I need Declan Rice to be the marquee signing for Arsenal this season. Yeah, and I think it will happen. I think it will happen, because one thing for sure is that when it comes to Arsenal, when we have a player that we want to sign and the player wants to sign as well, it happens. It's just a matter of time. It's not a matter of if, just a matter of when. So we know that for sure, for sure, for sure. And I say that to say this: he wants to come, and we want him. He wants to come to Arsenal because he understands the project that Mikel Arteta is building is banging. The project's banged. We can't now, because we bottled the league, say the project hasn't banged. We've bottled the league. We haven't bottled the season in a sense. Yeah, all of these teams, all of these rival teams, West Ham, every single elite player from these teams, probably potentially taking away Man City. Yeah. All of these players in these teams will want to come to Arsenal. They will replace what the season they've had right now for having a place in that Arsenal setup. There is no denial. No one can write a comment and tell me, oh no, bro. But I'm telling you lot right now. So he's looking at that and saying, Declan Rice is. He's looking at the situation saying, okay, cool, they've come second, but this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna come in here, and whenever Thomas Partey or Jorginho, like, it's a madness. And I've seen today that Granit Xhaka is being linked with a move away in the summer to Bayern Leverkusen. I think we should grab hold of him for one more season. We need Granit Xhaka. As much as I want to sell Granit Xhaka and say thank you for a good and a solid year and season and a half of fantastic football that you've played, like, Granit Xhaka is still part of the remnants of the failing banter times. Yes, he's improved dramatically, but people, even this season, there are some aspects about Granit Xhaka, yeah, that you look at it, you see it, and you go, yeah, that's why I need to get rid of you. That's why we need to sell you eventually. And we just need to find a better, Granit Xhaka. We need to find someone who does what Granit Xhaka does, but does it better. And as I said before, credit to Granit this season. He's been tremendous. And even in that game against West Ham, he was one of the main players. He's one of the star players. Yeah, I didn't give him man of the match because I believe that belongs to the scorers. Um, so I gave it to Odegaard. But yeah, he was fantastic. But yo, people, man. And maybe that's why someone like Granit Xhaka is starting to have conversations with his agent and saying, "Look, what's the situation here? What's the alternatives?" Because I know Arsenal's going to bring in a midfielder, a central midfielder, whether it's box to box, whether it's attacking, everything that Granit Xhaka can do, Declan Rice can do, and more. And he's a more composed player in a sense. He has more temperament. He has more patience. He understands things from an element where he's an English player. There's pride. There's a core level of just a bit more. I'm not saying players, foreign players or players from abroad don't have as much passion or as much, as eager to see their team win or stuff like that. 100% no, that's not what I'm trying to say. What I am trying to say is that when you have players, that are born in this country and play for a team in the country, I just believe you get them to kind of care a bit more. Um, and really and truly, they're not really going anywhere like that. They're not going to disappear in 3 years to I don't know, it's Italian side or French side or go to Spain or something like that. It's very unlikely that happens. If you're a young player, you're 19 and you're just about trying to get more game time, just about to go on your career, that's different. But for Declan Rice, his future is here in England. His future is with Arsenal, hopefully. And we can sit here all day and I can most certainly literally give you 120 million reasons why we need to have Declan Rice starting in that midfield for the 2023-2024 season. Listen, people, 30 minutes I've done this video for. Listen, share your thoughts and share your feelings with me. What do you guys think about all of this? I think it's an absolute must, and I think Arsenal should make him the marquee signing. And if we do make him the marquee signing, then 120 million, bro. That's what you get for an elite player nowadays. Let's go. Let's go, Arsenal. Let's go. Let's buy our first elite clubs, buy players for 100 million plus. So let's be, what is it? Who's bought City? Grealish 100 million. Who else has bought a player for 100 million in England? Anthony 90 million, Manchester United. Who else? Let's be that club, man. Arsenal set trends, or at least we keep up with them, or at least we do things that a lot of the times it's the first of May. We'll be the first English. Wait, hold on. We'll be the first London club that bought a player for 100 and yeah, because Mihailo Mudryk was 80 or whatever it was. Yeah, I think we'll be the first London side to buy a player for 120 million and above. But yeah, it all remains to be seen. Listen, people, let me get out of here. Please drop a like on the video. Please subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and your feelings in regards to this. And I would love you guys to engage. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, smash the like button. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.